What's good, YouTube? We back with another video, man. It's your boy G-Benz, man. The video is titled, What is A1 Sauce? So let's tap in and see what's going on with that real quick, man.
Have you ever looked at a bottle of A1 sauce and thought, what are you? Steak's sidekick? Ketchup's fancy cousin? A Victorian condiment that somehow survived the Industrial Revolution? Well, if so, you're far from alone. But even though most people don't know exactly what A1 is, every steak lover has an opinion on it. And that's why. Today, we're going to try to figure out how A1 became the most controversial sauce in the world. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to The Weird Good One. Get it? A1 sauce is that dark, tangy, mysterious bottle that lives in refrigerators across America. Usually next to the Worcestershire sauce and that one mustard that no one remembers buying. It's often called steak sauce, but that label is misleading at best and historically inaccurate at worst, because A1 wasn't originally made for steak, or even meat specifically, and it certainly wasn't designed to be controversial. No, A1 actually started life as something much more ambitious, a sauce meant to make everything taste better. So to understand how A1 became the condiment people argue about at cookouts, we're gonna rewind all the way back to Victorian England, which also produced Wuthering Heights, the Industrial Revolution, and Jack the Ripper. The story starts with a guy named Henderson William Brand, a British chef and entrepreneur in the early 1800s who worked as a personal chef to King George IV. Brand developed a dark, savory sauce meant to complement, rather than overpower, rich foods by cutting through the heaviness with acidity, sweetness, and spice. So, less of a topping and more of a finishing move. In 1862, Brand debuted his creation at the International Exhibition in London, one of those massive world's fairs where nations showed off industrial marvels, cultural achievements, and apparently sauces. Brand's sauce, for the record, was originally called Brand's International Sauce, which sounds impressive, but also like it might come with instructions. Maybe that's why at some point after its debut, it was renamed A1. The exact origin of the name A1 is a little murky, but the most common explanation is that A1 was British slang for first rate, or top quality, as in, this sauce, A1. Not a version number, not a secret code, just 19th century hype branding. A1 was first sold in the UK. It then expanded its market into Canada, and then the United States, where it would undergo its most dramatic identity shift, from general purpose sauce to steak's most polarizing +1.
So wait, A1 sauce was made for everything. Because I've never put A1 sauce on nothing but steak. So I didn't know that you could put A1 sauce on other things. I only thought you could put A1 sauce on steak, because I thought it was steak sauce specifically. So I just learned something new. I don't know about y'all. So when you get A1 sauce, you should try it on other stuff, yo. Can't front. I never even thought about that. Like, put on your broccoli. Put A1 sauce on your broccoli, gang. Let's see what it's hitting for.
A good sauce should be more than the sum of its ingredients. But ingredients are important. So what's actually in A1 sauce? Well, the list includes tomato puree, distilled vinegar, corn syrup, salt, raisins, spices, garlic, onion, and...
Wait, there's raisins in A1 sauce? I bet you didn't know that. I bet none of y'all watching this video right now knew that there was raisins in A1 sauce. Who in here hate raisins? Who in here hate raisins? Because now you can't say you hate raisins if you like A1 sauce. If you hate raisins, but you eat A1 sauce, which is steak, you don't hate raisins, bro. You don't hate raisins. Now I feel like we know everything that's in it. We're going to be able to taste that now. I wonder if we put all those ingredients together, would it taste like that?
crushed orange puree. Yes, oranges, which surprises people.
I'm allergic to orange juice. I'm allergic to oranges, Chad. But I love A1 sauce. I'm gonna break out. I'm gonna break out now that I know that. I didn't know that. I gotta call my doctor, man. She's gonna be so mad at me. She already don't like when all the salt I eat. I eat a lot of chips and hot sauce, y'all. Oh my God. I'm not quitting. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up, so it's what it is. I don't know, Chad. I might have to stop watching these videos, man. I be learning too much about food, man. I be learning too much about what's going on, bro. This is crazy.
But they're important. The orange component adds subtle sweetness and citrus brightness, balancing the vinegar's acidity. It doesn't make A1 taste orangey, but it does round out the flavor and keep it from leaning too sharp or bitter. The vinegar plays a key role too. Acid helps tenderize meat slightly and brightens savory flavors. That's one reason A1 works well on beef, pork, and even potatoes. It cuts through fat and richness. Over the years, the formula has changed slightly, mostly to adjust sweetness levels and comply with modern food regulations. But the core flavor profile has remained remarkably consistent. Nutritionally speaking, A1 is fine. It's low in fat and low in calories, but fairly high in sodium and sugar for a condiment. It's definitely not a health food, but it's also not the villain people sometimes make it out to be. Like most sauces, moderation is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But let's face it, you can make a salad unhealthy if you toss enough sauce on there. As for competitors, A1 sits alongside other steak sauces.
Not gonna lie, I'm not jacking that. I hate when people say stupid shit like that. Like, if you throw a lot of sauce on your salad, it's unhealthy. Fun fact, most things are not unhealthy. Most things aren't unhealthy. It's a natural balance. You are overeating. French fries are a vegetable. You are just eating too many French fries. That's how that goes. Everybody way different. Everybody should consume different. Everybody should eat different things. But I hate people be on this like weird kick of like, oh, if you eat this thing, it's unhealthy. No. That's your fault. You're an overeater. Everybody that's fat, you're just an overeater. You were eating more than your body can withstand. So your body has to expand. Think about it like this. Gaining weight is like having a balloon. And then blowing air into that balloon is the food that you intake. They got some balloons who can go this size, this size, this size. You are putting too much air in your balloon based on your age and height. That's making it expand so you don't freaking burst. That's your fault. That's your fault. Most foods, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I ate mac and cheese and lost weight. You can eat other foods and lose weight, bro. Like, you can eat all the good foods. I eat steak, tacos, I drink liquor. You can do all these things and still lose weight, bro. It's about you monitoring moderation. The reason why you fat right now watching this video is just because you don't monitor how much you consume. That's the main deal.
Like Heinz 57, HP sauce, and various house-made steak sauces. Most competitors rely heavily on vinegar, tomato, and spice, but A1's use of orange puree is relatively unique, giving it that unmistakable sweet-savory balance. What really sets A1 apart from its competitors isn't just its ingredient list, it's balance. Heinz 57 leans sweeter and thicker. HP sauce is darker, maltier, and more aggressively savory. And many modern steak sauces skew smoky or spicy. A1, by contrast, lives in the middle. The sweetness never overwhelms. The acidity hits quickly, then gets the hell out of the way. The fruit elements round out the vinegar instead of fighting it, creating a sauce that reacts to food rather than sitting on top of it. That adaptability is why A1 keeps reappearing in unexpected places.
Do y'all dunk A1 sauce in other things? I've never put like A1 sauce in other things. I've only used it for my steak. I'm pretty sure it's probably like bled over, but I never noticed. I've only used A1 sauce for the steak. And honestly, when you go to fancy restaurants, fun fact, they don't give you A1 sauce. A lot of fancy restaurants don't put that on your table as you order A1 sauce. You have to like request that. And then they have like a house A1 sauce, and then they have like the regular A1 sauce, depending on who they partner with. But in reality, gang, like, steak shouldn't be eaten with no sauce. Fresh off the grill, stove, whatever, and just salt, and you're ready to go. But Do you ever treat A1 sauce like a dipping sauce? I guess that's my question.
Mixed into marinades, stirred into gravies, splashed onto stews, or used as a shortcut seasoning in home kitchens. It's a behind-the-scenes fixer, quietly nudging flavors into alignment, which may explain why people keep buying it, even when they swear they don't. As we mentioned before, A1 was not actually created for steak. Originally, it was marketed as a sauce for anything. Meat, vegetables, leftovers, whatever you had on hand, vaguely edible or not. It was meant to enhance flavor broadly, not rescue a specific protein. The association with steak didn't really start until the mid-20th century, after the brand had been acquired by the company that would eventually become Kraft Heinz. In the 1960s, Kraft rebranded A1 explicitly as a steak sauce. Why? Because post-war America loved beef. Steak sales were booming, steakhouses were status symbols, and they were absolutely everywhere. At the same time, backyard grilling was becoming a lifestyle. Steak wasn't just dinner, it was masculinity, success, and a reason to buy your dad a novelty apron for Father's Day.
I do think as a man, you should learn how to cook a good steak. I think as a man, you should learn how to cook a good steak. Because I think women are more sensual, slow, and intimate. Take their time, patient. I think men are like fiery, fast, passionate. And that's what it takes to cook a good steak. That's what it takes. Fire, passion, grill, heat, salt. You know what I mean? All the gritty things that it takes to make a steak, man. I think that's what men embody, man. I really do. Like as a man, you watching this, bro. I know I got like younger fans. Learn how to make a steak, man. Learn how to make a good steak. Learn what a good butter based is. Learn what a good thyme and butter based and garlic is. It'll bring you a long way, bro. A long way. Some of the best things I've ever had were cooked by men. No shade to the women. No shade. Can I make other things that's great? Some of the best, and I'm an avid steak lover. I mean, you know what? Let me just bow out of it, but yeah.
And rebranding A1 as a steak sauce was a marketing masterstroke. Suddenly, this old British condiment became the official companion to America's favorite celebratory meat. Yes, a lot of that has to do with the memorable commercials the brand has produced over the years. From A1 making hamburgers taste like steak burgers, to celebrity spokespeople like Andy Griffith.
Nothing better together in the whole wide world.
A1 ads have long leaned into the idea that it's the sauce for people who know what they're doing. And there might be something to that, because interestingly, there's a functional reason A1 pairs well with beef.
I never put A1 on a burger, man. I want to try that now. I feel like that's the cheat, bro. That's the cheat. Ooh, my fault, chat. Hold on. Ooh. You hear me? All right, cool. I never put A1 on a burger, though. Like, I think that's the cheat. But I will say, A1 sauce is so tangy. It has a flavor that make you want to put it on more stuff. It's overpowering. It's like that. It's like that. A1 sauce is an overpowering flavor. You gotta be careful what you put it on because it could overpower something. Can't front. Yeah, it's fire though. This video makes me want to put it on other things though. I definitely want to put this on other things now, for sure.
The sauce contains acidic ingredients and antioxidants that can actually help preserve freshness and enhance flavor, especially in lower quality cuts of meat. So while purists insist that a good steak needs nothing, A1 quietly says, sure, but some steaks absolutely do. And that's where the controversy begins. Among steak enthusiasts, A1 is deeply polarizing. Some reject it entirely, viewing it as an insult to good beef, while others admit, quietly, that they use it on cheaper cuts, leftovers, or well-done steaks that need a little help finding joy again. Basically, A1 exists in that space where people don't just have preferences, they have opinions. Strong ones, loud ones, usually expressed while holding tongs. Use it proudly, and someone will tell you you're wrong. Use it secretly, and, well, now everyone is happy. And the A1 debate didn't just live at...
Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. People do get offended. Like, there is a community that feels like if you gotta put A1 sauce on something, it's not good. I think that because it's bold flavor. But I don't think A1 sauce is diss. I don't think using A1 sauce is a diss to the cut of meat. People just like dipping their food in sauces. And there is something to be said about it. Like, do you think that dipping your food in sauce means that the food isn't that tasty? Where you got to add something? Because I think you can just be a fan of the sauce and a fan of the food, and you want to mix those together. But when it comes to A1 sauce and steak, people will get offended if you got to put sauce on that.
Backyard grills, it became cultural shorthand. Ordering steak with A1 at a restaurant quietly announced something about you. Or not so quietly if you happen to be Nicki Minaj, who went viral for demanding A1 for her Wagyu steak at the luxury steakhouse.
First of all, I love Nicki. Watch your fucking mouth. Second of all, I kind of get it. Like, it's like ordering your steak well done. If you order your steak well done, it's like, you know what I mean? You're losing the umami. You're losing the flavor. You're losing the essence of the cut. You can't taste the difference between the cut if you cook out all the juices. People who don't eat steak regularly, they normally order their steak well done, which is not a bad thing, but it is to people who eat steak frequently. Because we could taste like, I can tell that this cut isn't that. You know, like for the first time, I've had a flat iron steak recently. I cooked it medium, I cooked it well done, and I cooked it medium rare. I didn't like all three cuts. I hated all three cuts. All three temperatures. That's not steak for me. It's not the steak that you would want to make as an avid steak lover. So I don't think that like that is a good representation of what steak can really taste like. When you're talking about Wagyu and A5, A6, and you're doing all the fancy Salt Bae crap, whatever, like then you're talking about a different ball game of steak with a lot more marbling on it. Like, you know, I really, really love steak. But overall though, man, you add an A1 sauce to a really good piece of steak, it's offensive. For anybody that don't know, it's offensive. If you get some really good steak, take a bite before you add anything to it. Because you have people who not meaning to offend, but they'll pull out A1 sauce and rip, put it right on top. It's like when you get French fries. Take a fry, bite it. Do that with steak too. Because it's more of a compliment than just adding sauce immediately, bro.
Boa. Anyway, to some diners,
Etiquette.
A1 meant
Etiquette.
you didn't trust the kitchen.
Tell that cook he better not screw up them steaks.
To others, it meant you grew up eating well-done sirloin, and nobody was going to shame you out of upping your enjoyment by dousing it in some sauce. And this divide sharpened as steakhouse culture became more performative. Dry-aged beef, chef-driven menus, and Instagram-perfect grill marks took over. And sauces like A1 were recast as relics of an earlier era. A time when consistency mattered more than purity, and flavor was something you added regardless of the result, not something you did right the first time. Yet A1 never disappeared.
I like what he said. Flavor is something you added regardless of the result. Same thing with like French fries. You can have a perfect curly fry, straight fry, steak fry, but you feel like French fries go with ketchup. That's just good marketing, right? People who love steak, they don't see it as good marketing. They see it as you ain't like this steak or it's dry. You had to add it with some kind of sauce to make it manageable. Steak is expensive. It's not like a potato. A potato could get dipped in a bunch of different things. Steak is something that should be, I guess, respected for the most part. And I say I guess because I can see both sides of it. But in reality, a really, really good steak don't need nothing. It don't need no encore. It's just the main course. You experience it and you go about your life.
Because it solved a problem steak culture rarely admits. Not every steak is perfect.
A1's not expensive, but it makes any steak taste expensive.
And let's not forget that not every steak eater even wants perfection. Sometimes people want familiarity. Sometimes they want tang. Sometimes they want their food to taste like their dad made it. And A1, for better or worse, tastes like a memory. In 2014, something interesting happened. A1 quietly dropped the word steak from its name. It just became A1 sauce. This wasn't random or a deep, pleading English whisper from the ancestors to return to tradition. It coincided with a broader decline in beef consumption and a cultural shift toward more varied diets. Steak was no longer the unquestioned centerpiece of the American table, and A1 got to appease the yearning of their British ancestors and reclaim its original identity, a sauce for everything. In fact, Kraft actually began marketing A1 as a sauce for everything: pork, chicken, fish, vegetables, burgers, eggs, even Bloody Marys. And according to A1's social media, fans also use it on nachos, baked potatoes, meatloaf, and yes, that's right, pumpkin seeds. Despite this reinvention, A1's popularity has declined over the years. Part of that is changing tastes. Part of it is that beef quality has improved, meaning fewer people feel the need for a flavor assist. And part of it is that it's as controversial among chefs as it is among steak lovers. Many, especially high-end chefs, openly dislike it. Some celebrity chefs have dismissed A1 as unnecessary or overpowering, particularly in fine dining. Others defend it as a nostalgic classic with a specific purpose. The divide remains. Of course, there's always more to it. A1's slow decline mirrors broader changes in how people cook and eat. Access to spices has expanded. Home cooks are more adventurous, and sauces are increasingly expected to tell a story, be it regional, artisanal, or handmade. A1 tells a different story. It's industrial, standardized, and unapologetically old school. And yet, it has outlasted countless other, trendier condiments precisely because it never pretended to be anything else. It didn't pivot to craft. It didn't rename itself something ironic. It just stayed on the shelf, waiting for the moment someone needed it. The point is, A1 is a Victorian-era, British-born, marketing-savvy, citrus-enhanced, beef-adjacent sauce that accidentally became a cultural lightning rod.
So honestly, I just learned like 3 things from that video. Can't find. 1, A1 sauce got oranges in it. I did not know that. 2, A1 sauce is meant for everything, so not just steaks. 3, I need to try A1 sauce on a burger. If you like this video on YouTube, shout out to you. Click this video right here because this is something you think you should watch next. And click another video, man. Watch some more videos just like this if you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.